I think I have the order right. I think we're gonna start out with T-Mobile first.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
All right, T-Mobile is the one that's down there off of Pulaski Highway. It's the one that by the old airfield.
Yes.
Okay. We've looked at it before. I think they want to put another, just a co-location.
Yeah.
Same tower, just adding more on it. I think we looked at it before. I think there may be some issues as to whether or not it was located in the proper location the first time, so we have to go for some variances. You have any concerns, John, about down there?
No.
Anybody have any?
No, they did speak about this at, I believe it was planning,
Yeah.
and the only question was that it was a breakaway tower, and they want to make sure that the breakaway breaks away into their property and not onto another property, but that goes to your point of making sure that the tower is actually placed in the correct location initially. In the case it's too windy, it breaks in the center, not down at the base. Thus, but all of the antennas, they said, will be placed below the current antennas, so they're not making it any higher.
Right. Yeah.
Can you move your mic a little closer to you, Chris?
Sure can.
Everybody else is good?
Good, thank you.
I think mine's on.
Can you show me and try yours?
Go ahead, John, try
I
it.
think mine's on, is it? Yep. Yep, it is.
Yeah, good, okay. All right, so, yeah.
No other
This
concerns.
is Jet.
Okay, so that's right next to the old airfield building.
What do I have right there?
I can't say that, I haven't done it. All right, nobody else, T-Mobile? No comments?
Thank you.
Okay, I think the next thing was,
Cannon Hill Flex.
Cannon Hill Flex, good, I'll say Cannon Hill Flex. Okay, they're back again. They did a turning analysis, but the last updated turning analysis I saw still does not include anything with DOT. In fact, the last turning analysis I saw coming into it is that they had to go into the wrong lane to get into it.
Crossover lane.
Yep. So it was supposed to come in, our traffic consultant had reviewed some of their stuff. And when I read the thing from the traffic consultant, I had a bunch of questions, I sent it in. And then they decided not to hold a meeting that night, probably until the next meeting.
Yep.
Maybe coming in next meeting to
We looked at this
talk.
often.
Pardon?
We looked at this often.
We have looked at this often, yes.
As I recall, and this does go back at least over a year, this turning analysis, this turning has been a problem from the very beginning. I know I've spoken with privilege of the floor to talk about that crossover lane, the fact that the trucks, they have no choice but to cross over into oncoming traffic. And we've said that in the morning, when the buses are coming out, because there is a bus storage garage back there on Cannon Hill Drive, this could be a real nightmare and actually dangerous, because you're going to back trucks up out onto 17M when people are on their way to work. And from what I understand, if I got this right, correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, they said, we know it's a thing. The state has said that the project, the site does justify a dedicated turning lane coming eastbound and westbound off of 17M, and that they will essentially get to it when they get to it. Do I have that right?
I think you're right. I think that they did not say that this project is the cause of that. They said that this intersection has that problem already.
And so, does the town have the ability to say, intersection first, build the building later?
Sir,
I'm saying I don't know, but
I'm not sure.
it seems to me that if the town,
We shouldn't be approving something that's unsafe.
there it is. The town allows the building to be built with the idea, saying, well, the state will eventually get around to making the highway safer. Until then, honestly, if I get into an accident or somebody gets into an accident, I'm pointing the finger at the town saying, why did you allow this? Now, I understand, I'm looking at it from a layman's common sense civilian point. Maybe a lawyer has some reason that that's not going to work, but if our duty here is to give advice to the town, to protect the town from such a lawsuit, I think we'd be
It won't hurt to
remiss not
ask
to
the
say.
question.
Yeah.
Good. John?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if you can literally prevent them from getting in there while you wait for the intersection to be modified, so it's a great idea, it'd be nice to do that.
I know that a long time ago, there was a court case down, south of us in New York State. It actually went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yeah, and it had to do with the fact that somebody wanted to put a subdivision in, and it was said that they could not put it in until the infrastructure made it there. And so, but you also had to have a plan for that infrastructure. In other words, if I'm gonna put a mile of infrastructure every year, 5 years from now, and I make it out to your property, you can go ahead and build it, maybe. So there was some, it's not that you could just say you have to wait for us and then have no plan to get to it.
But the only problem is the infrastructure in here is relatively set. It's not about there, it's about the state highway
What's
that
it?
they come out onto.
However, and one of the possibilities is that if they have to do this turning lane, that they may need, the state may need some property off of this property to make that turning lane. In other words, right about up here or whatever, they may need to have this piece of property here.
And that is where they're talking about building a berm
Right.
to keep because they got a variance
Mhm.
to put, to move this closer to the road.
Right.
But part of that was that it needs to be, the site distance, it needs to be hidden, and they're
Right.
gonna put a berm there. Now, first of all, coming out, you look to the left, and a berm is there. I believe your site distance down 17M is restricted.
Right.
But, more to your point, if you do need that area to make a turning lane, making a right into Cannon Hill, you're gonna need to take that property. Well, now you've taken away the berm, which the town requires, so you wouldn't see the building. This, I don't think it's listen, the applicant has spoken, they've done a great job of making the presentation, and they are jumping through all the hoops. But the applicant wants this building on this piece of property, and it just seems like they've been stuffing 6 pounds in a 5-pound bag the entire time. That all the variances they needed, taking away the second entrance, moving it closer to the road, etc. And I understand that some of our codes changed underneath the applicant. That is, he owned the property, and then the codes changed on it. Okay, I feel bad about that, and we'll make some exceptions. But in this case, we're talking about safety. And how does the town allow that? And it's the town's stuck because it's the state highway, it's the state's responsibility. We can't modify 17M. The state has to do it. But are we to say, look, we know it's dangerous, everybody, it's a hope and a prayer? You know,
I think there's, usually there's a possibility if you have to contribute a percentage because you have something, okay? So one of the things that's been balanced in that is, and I think that this applicant has said he will contribute to that somehow, in some fashion, in some quantity. I would prefer to see, if the thought really is that in the future, they're going to need to use some of the land that's aboard of 17M, I would sooner he state that now that he will relinquish that, rather than have him pay to have design. I don't, just because we have a design there, if there's no ability to execute it, I think we're better off contributing to the execution of that later on than to say, all right, here's a plan, and then in the future we'll get around to doing it maybe.
but planning actually is the one who said you have to put this berm in, and the applicant said, okay, I'll put the berm in. Now we're saying, in the future, we may have to take that berm away.
So I think we need to consider right now, if the preferred project in the future is going to be to use some of that area where the berm is now, we should consider right now that that's the way it's gonna go.
Okay?
And modify the berm or reduce the berm or eliminate the berm. Let's recognize that if in the future, by eminent domain, the state decides they're gonna take the land with the berm, then we're gonna lose anyhow.
I don't think the applicant could care either way about the
No, he
berm.
doesn't. I don't
It's the
think he
town
does.
that's making them do it. As a
Sure.
matter of fact, it's more money to him to do it. I think I said this, really, this has been here for about a year, but I'm pretty sure I said, if he just built an ice cream stand, none of this would need to be done. But he doesn't want to build an ice cream stand, he wants this building because this is his business, and I appreciate that, I truly do. But sometimes, it's just the wrong project for the site. Look, and I can overlook a lot of stuff, you could make the thing hideous, so long as people aren't getting injured. And I do believe, as dangerous as this intersection already is, now you've got 18-wheelers using
It's gonna
a
be
crossover
worse.
lane, it's just terrible.
And in fact, they show here on this turning analysis that the trucks coming in from 17M you need to go into the opposite lane on Cannon Hill Drive.
Yep.
To turn into the property. The other thing that I think is a concern is I think anybody who's ever driven a trailer, and you don't have to drive a tractor trailers to know it. I think, Carol, you've probably seen it with your trailers. It's much easier to back into a parking space if I'm looking over my left shoulder instead of trying to turn into the right. I can see where I'm going.
Absolutely.
And I've seen that with my stock trailers. I think Carol has seen it. I know that Louis has said in the past, there's no doubt you can see the end of your trailer if you're looking over your left-hand shoulder. If you turn it the other way, you can't see anything.
No, you can't.
You can't see that other
It's a
part.
blind spot.
Yep.
Just a little bit about the history, when they put this in, the building in back of them, that one.
The self-storage place.
Yeah, that was years and years and years ago, I
Yes.
mean.
That,
What,
that self-storage, I believe, was the first building that was done on that original subdivision. And this was a subdivision that was here, I think, prior to 2002.
okay, yeah.
Okay? I think in 2002, all these properties were here, and in fact, I think there were even more smaller lots there.
Really?
Yeah, I know there was.
I mean, if, in hindsight, if that building would have been, the initial building would have been adjusted, there would have been a little bit more room
Yeah.
to put the berm in and still,
Yeah.
but,
I think that goes back to the code change, because I'd asked that exactly, and they said, well, when he put those self-storage in, the code was that the building could have been closer to 17M, and because of that change, that's why you had to go for all the variances to push this, to essentially back to what the old code was.
yeah.
But
okay.
none of that addresses the issue of the crossover lane and incoming trucks.
No.
Cannon Hill Drive is just, it's a 2-lane road, and it's small,
And it's busy.
very busy, and getting, oh my
And
goodness, is it getting.
17M is terrible.
It's
so
just, it goes nonstop now.
well,
There is I think there's recognition by the state and by the town that 17M is a difficult area.
Even getting in and out of Louis' place.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
And getting in and out anywhere, except
Terrible.
with the Amy's Kitchen traffic light does work.
Well, yeah, again, you're gonna have how many traffic lights?
No, and certainly the other possibility would be roundabouts, which keep things moving more, but
Right.
until we get some kind of action, and I don't know whether the state would say another traffic light or just turning lanes or something else.
And a roundabout, how's a roundabout gonna work with these big tractor trailers?
Actually, they have them roundabouts,
Because
and I've
if you
seen
go to
them.
the roundabout in Middletown off of Dolsontown,
Yep.
Yeah.
where the little airport thing is over there, I can't see a tractor trailer going around that.
Me neither.
That's little.
I'm in there all the time.
I can tell you that.
With that little roundabout?
No, I'm saying that roundabout, that's
Yeah.
my airport right there that I fly from, so yes, I'm very familiar with it, and I cannot remember seeing a tractor trailer go through
I
there.
can't even imagine
It would
tractor trailer
be
getting around that.
Incredibly tight. They do, well, you know, the inside of that particular one, it has that red, they did the red brick on the inside.
Yeah.
And you can see where they, inside of the tires of trailers must be going through there, it's tight. So I don't see that a roundabout's gonna work on 17M, but traffic light, or better yet, the turning lane, dedicated turning lane, at least coming, when you're going, eastbound, right, and you're making the right-hand turn into Cannon Hill, a dedicated turn lane, let the truck get into that far right lane, let traffic keep moving, that works. Coming eastbound on the other side, you know, make it a dedicated turning lane to the left, and now you just have to wait for the eastbound traffic to brake for you.
Yeah, because that's, you have to go into the other lane.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
You won't make that turn.
So what is our suggestion, or what is our advice to planning?
What is our advice? Because I think the other turning analysis that they didn't do here is the turning out of, heading eastbound on 17M and turning into Cannon Hill. I don't think they showed where the tractor trailer can stay in its proper lane on Cannon Hill.
They
I think
can't.
that's gonna be into the opposite lane.
They actually showed it, is that on another one of these?
It's not on this one.
I've seen it, and it absolutely does show
Yes.
the crossover.
I agree, I think it does happen, I think it's gonna happen, but it's not here in this turning analysis, which is from 8/12/24. I have not seen a new one. I thought they were gonna give us a new one.
Yeah, because we
but I haven't
have
seen
had
it.
this year.
Yep.
And has the planning board ever just said, look, this isn't gonna work? You just can't do it?
what the planning board can say, it's not gonna work as designed, they can say that. And to the degree that, I don't know, we've never done a thing, this board has never done it where they said, you have to wait until that improvement's made.
Okay,
Though, I will say that's not quite true. Amy's, Legoland did. Like, Legoland was told, yes, you can't go ahead and build unless you have an exit there with an overpass.
flyover.
Yeah, they had a bunch of things there.
But they paid a lot of money.
We're talking magnitudes different,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no doubt about it.
And there was no way to successfully build that out without having that big thing that they put in there. Because
Yeah.
it just, every nightmare everyone said
Mhm.
that would stop the traffic and would, nothing,
Right,
nothing.
Yeah,
It's
no,
been successful.
Yeah, I don't, so I'm not trying to compare this one to Legoland.
No, I
Certainly
know.
Legoland was one that they did all that, they actually gave up, I think, 5 acres of land for that roundabout by them. They built everything, all the bridge over it, the flyover, whatever, there's a number of things, but.
well, for my 2 cents, I'm having a difficult time, trying to say to the town, yes, go ahead and allow them to create this, what everybody has said is going to be a dangerous traffic condition with hopes and prayers that nobody gets hurt until the state gets around to fixing the
How long
intersection.
does the turning lane have to be?
That
Because they've got a long stretch of property there.
yeah, I would say you'd want at least,
Why couldn't they just take a whole section of that front of the property?
that is exactly where they wanna put the berm. So you would take out,
Forget the berm, put
I'm
like
with
a
you.
turning,
I'm-
like a turning lane or
But the
something.
berm is a request or
Even as a
requirement.
temporary.
Berm is a request or requirement of the planning board
Well,
and our design standards. I'm
I know,
not saying,
but they could always move the berm back.
no, they can't.
They can't?
If they move the berm back, they're gonna lose more of their property,
and now they can't
And
drive
now-
around the
But I
property.
think this is a little bit more about safety than aesthetics, so.
Okay, and which goes back to the point of, you're telling me I have to either take safety or aesthetics after I've already granted variances, it's the wrong size project for this size.
Well, can that be conveyed to the
Sure.
planning board?
what do you wanna
I
say?
actually said it out loud to them with a privilege of the floor, I said it.
And think about giving up some of that land to have even a temporary turning lane, and have them do it.
But that again goes to the state-owned 17M, and the town cannot
Even though
touch
that's their
17M.
private property?
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot do an extra lane on a state road without the state's approval.
Has to be that.
Okay, well, so
Yeah.
much for that.
But the suggestion I think you're trying to make here is that, the planning board should consider, that there may be no berm there, or should be no berm
Yeah, I
there,
think that's more safety factor.
because safety is of greater significance, than the aesthetics out there in particular.
But
We're
again,
talking landfill across the street, we're talking landfill right next door,
Mhm.
so, the neighborhood's not gonna be harmed terribly by seeing a large building, right along the road.
No.
but again, that corridor, at least on both sides of the landfill, Orange County landfill's way back, you can't see it. The Alturri has the big hill and a
Yeah.
berm at the top, so no, you can't see them. Once again, our codes are there for, in this particular instance, we're trying to beautify the town, and you're doing away with that to accommodate an applicant who wants a building that's too big for the parcel.
Are they
It's just-
going to widen Cannon Hill at all?
No plans.
There's no plans for that. Again, it's already a town road, so it would be a town, project or whatever, or town approved project. Okay.
Because that's gonna be
Carol's
tight
got
too.
another right, Neil, instead of, take Cannon Hill and this property here, take an entire lane so that trucks coming in to the right off of 17M onto Cannon Hill don't have to cross over into oncoming traffic on Cannon Hill.
Sure, I think the one way.
Because that could be done if it was wide, if the road was wide enough.
You have to take away from the property, which
Right,
takes away
exactly.
from them being able to drive around the property, which you have to do for to get fire trucks around, et cetera, et cetera. Once again, we keep jumping through
Do you have
hoops.
any idea what it's gonna be like when those tractor trailers come down there and trying to make that turn?
I've already
And
said,
they're all the way out into oncoming traffic?
New Jersey Truck and Trailer is already down in the back of Cannon Hill, and I have literally been coming up and had to stop while a truck came out, went across and had to make the right. We've seen
I
it.
even have an issue coming out of my driveway with a truck and trailer, especially if I have the gooseneck
Mhm.
attached.
Mhm.
I have to make a wide turn. And if I'm coming from Warwick back in, I have to go over to get into my driveway
Absolutely.
with just a gooseneck. So imagine a 52-foot trailer.
So I think one of the other answers is you could have a wider radius on the turn. I mean, theoretically, if I cut that corner more, I could make a turn and stay in the lane.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, that is another alternative. I don't know whether the state would want that or whatever, but again, it's a matter of meeting some of that land right at the end. And the same thing going out of Cannon Hill, if you took some of the land off of, was it Caliber?
Collision, but that's not, the thing is, now you're asking another private entity to give up their land for this guy's project.
No,
This guy
that's-
giving up his own land is one thing.
But we're not giving up for this guy's project, we're asking to give it up because it's unsafe there. But let's talk a little bit further, because there are other properties coming up that could contribute, at least financially to it. Right next, between Caliber and North Jersey Truck and Trailer is a vacant piece of land that is not so vacant right now.
I didn't know what's on it now.
Last time I was there, I think I've seen a lot of trailers parked there.
Oh,
But I don't think that's ever been approved.
is that, so do we know who's parking their trailers now?
I believe it might be North Jersey Truck and Trailer.
Well.
So if they came in for an addition, or for approval for that, they would also be contributing to the extra use there.
I don't even know, I don't even know if this is a matter of money as much as it's a matter of the state not having the time.
Manpower.
Manpower,
also, and
exactly.
They got an awful lot of projects.
They got a lot of other
going
stuff
at
going on.
I think it's a matter of their priorities. I mean, in
Right.
the town of Goshen, it is a big priority. In Orange County or in region, whatever it is, I'm not sure we make it there. But certainly there's that project is a potential, and it seemed like there was one other one there somewhere that possibly is gonna add to it. Oh, I know, I think the bus property has expanded their usage. I think that there are more parking spaces on the bus property than was ever approved. Consequently, there's probably more bus traffic coming out of there than we have ever anticipated. And if that was included in some of the calculations, maybe they could contribute also to making some of these improvements.
Where's the next traffic light from there?
Traffic light is
Harley
River Road, and then Harley.
Well, you know, from my comments, I cannot see the town approving this project as planned without first having the 17M dealt with, because it just is an unsafe condition. And I'm not looking to put town residents in jeopardy because this applicant wants what he wants, and it's just, if he didn't see this coming when he started this project, that's a him problem, not a me problem. How did you not see this coming?
I think whatever the things, otherwise, for right now, some kind of increased signage or decrease in traffic speed, except decrease in speed is not really the issue, because
The traffic right now for the next 2 years is going to increase because of
Sure.
what they're doing on 17.
Yes.
Sure.
And even 17A, 3 sections of 17A starting in Goshen, Florida, and Warwick are under construction
Yeah.
on 17A. So now you have big Jersey barriers, you've got a lot of stuff going on, and people are looking for alternative routes. So what was maybe a little slower before is not now.
I think that right now 17M, what I was gonna say is that I think the speed limit there is legally 55,
It
Yeah,
depends.
It is.
that's-
Certain parts is 45 and certain
Okay.
parts is 50.
but I don't think you can do that speed most times of the day.
No.
What I'm really getting at is I think the speed limit, actual speed is probably below the speed limit.
Just because of the volume.
Right.
Yeah, I've noticed anytime after 1 or 2 in the afternoon, 17M is,
Yeah.
you're
And
never getting
if
speed.
you have to make, if you're coming out of one place and you have to make a left going west, it almost is easier to just make a right.
Go up.
And then go up and find a place to turn around, because you could be sitting there, and also it's dangerous.
I've done that route, I'll make the right, go up to Hartley, take Hartley back to
And you track.
G-Chunk and, yeah, go that way.
Oh, listen, I'm taking Reservoir Road home now.
Stay
From
away, yeah.
17, because it's just, I sat 3 times
Mhm.
for that light to change yesterday.
So do we have
No,
a consensus?
you're right there.
I think we certainly have a consensus about the traffic issue. I don't think any of us have a feeling that it's good yet, or that it's safe. What I was looking for here was a lighting plan.
Are they going to be having activity at night?
Well,
What kind
they,
of tenant is this?
we don't know who's gonna be the tenant right now.
Do they think it's gonna just be a commercial building? Do they
Well,
think
actually,
it's a
what I-
warehouse? Like, what are we talking about?
It is right now, the flex building is set up so that we have the theoretical is that we're gonna have at least some warehousing in there and some office in there. The flex building in the back is working rather well, I think, right now. That flex building has never given us trouble after it's been built. It's very relatively low travel or low traffic impact. They have somebody, I think, took over about 4 or 5 sections in there. And I think he's doing something with paper where he's getting rolls of paper in. And I was gonna say, making smaller rolls of paper. Yeah, but I think it really is, and it's doing that. I think there's a auto glass place in there right now. You remember what else, Grace, is in that building, that flex building in the back?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Got it.
But by the very nature of its name, it's a flex building. It can be commercial, it can be retail, it can be storage.
So it's fair to assume there will be tractor trailers on a daily basis if it's a
No,
flex
actually, the
warehouse?
one in the back does not have that much traffic. I mean, the one in the back may have tractor trailers once or twice a week only. So essentially, this big building is designed so it can be broken up into 12 smaller things. And so a person can come in, a tenant can come in, say, look, I need to have one of these, and then get it, or I need to have 5 of them and rent all 5. And then they finish off the inside. The inside is not finished off. With the last building, what they did was they divided the building in half with a firewall. That way they didn't have to have a sprinkler system.
Oh.
I suspect they're gonna do that again, just the size of the building is what reflects the need for a sprinkler, but also the use of the building, but anyhow, so we don't know.
And one other thing, at the last town meeting, is this the project they were talking about where they had put the 25,000? The landowner has put 25,000 away for
Yes.
this guy, right?
Yes.
Was
Okay.
it this one or was it RDM?
No, it's this one.
No, it's this
It's, yeah, this is the contribution that we were talking about.
Okay,
So they've already agreed to 25 grand and the board feels that's a good amount. They explained all that kind of stuff to me.
That number came from the traffic consultant. I
Yeah.
asked about that because it didn't seem like a lot of money to me.
Didn't seem like that to me,
Yes.
but
No.
then,
Not a lot.
one of the guys explained that we're not actually building it, we just need DOT studies and engineers to go ask for the DOT.
or was this the one that was down there off of Industrial Drive?
That's also another one where they want
Yeah,
contribution.
that's,
They
there's
both
3
do.
of them like that right
Yeah, they
now.
both do. That seems to be the new paradigm, is that they're asking for contribution from the applicants. Again, it's not a lot, but then the idea is being that if everybody kicks in, it adds up, but.
So if the town doesn't have any kind of connections with the state of New York to do this,
To do what?
to put in a traffic light or to put in
The
this
answer
turning?
is, the answer is the town can ask the state to do it or look at it better. But the town is not gonna volunteer to put up money to the other, we're not gonna match their money. If
Would
we.
the owner have any connection, any
Who?
power? The owner of the property, would they have
No,
any
they
connections
don't.
and power?
I mean, what really happened with Legoland, when Legoland did something, take that flyover, Legoland put up Legoland built the whole thing, designed it and built it. The design issue is important because that way you'd have to wait for the state to use their engineers to design it.
And they shared the money.
And they shared the money. So what happened is Legoland built the bulk of it. I believe the state could put up 25 million of that. And I think it was more in the tune of $45 million. And then the roundabout that Legoland gave up 5 acres of their land to put a roundabout and other things like that. So Legoland put a lot of money into it, but the state put up some. The state wanted to put up some money there because that was gonna be needed for the changeover from Route 17 to the interstate. So that one exit and entrance that we shut down, would have had to shut down anyhow in the
Right.
future.
It just seems wrong if everyone's aware that it's a major safety impact, but yet everybody says, well, we can't get it done. This does not make sense to me. If you
Well,
guys
the-
know it's a threat to Goshen residents,
Mhm.
I think it's your duty to tell them no.
And I.
Like maybe,
Like that.
Yep.
Advise the planning guys, take out your berm and make something else safe. Tell Supervisor
Hey.
Betro that you are, I got news for you, if one of my family was killed on that road, I'd be here knocking on the door, cause I sit at these meetings,
Mhm.
and I would be telling them, anybody can go on his YouTube,
Yes.
and it's all been discussed 20, 30 times.
It's interesting that you say that, because it had to be back, it was probably about a year ago this month, that we had the planning board had a privilege of the floor on this particular subject. I said exactly that. I said, you've gotta be kidding me, it's all video recorded. Engineer Sean Hoffman, he told me, he said, yep, we hear you, and it's at the state right now, and we haven't got answers on that, so just hold on to that thought. And I did, and here we are. Now the state has chimed in, the state has said, we recognize it's an issue, we think it should be done, and we'll get to it when we get to it. That is in a nutshell what they've said.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, you're absolutely right. And the trouble is that we don't know what all the state is looking at. And the state's probably looking at 100 different project areas or whatever.
Mhm.
And out of that, 10 of them will have the financing for it. I don't know, the numbers are just made up, but
So-
it's along that. And they're gonna pick the ones that are the worst. You take another one, we could take Houston Road and 17A. We know that's a bad intersection.
Sure it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
But I don't know if we're gonna get them to do anything down there right now either.
So
At
how
this
does
point-
the town sign off on something that's unsafe and protect itself?
That's the planning board.
Yeah.
We don't make this decision here, right?
The town may or may not be compelled to do things like that, based on the fact that if we don't allow somebody to make what legally is allowed to be done on their property, then perhaps it's a taking, and we have to purchase some of that off of him.
Well, something like Houston Road though too, when you put a traffic light in an area like that, people fly around that turn and the turn's blind.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I nearly back-ended somebody
Yep.
yesterday remember where John Deere used to be,
Sure.
now it's Jones or
Yep.
whatever up there? I came around that turn, just like I normally would, I was doing like 50 maybe. I came around, well, traffic right around the turn was stopped dead
That's
because of the Jersey barriers, and I wasn't even paying attention, so behind me was this giant dually truck, and I was saying, oh my God, this is gonna be like an accordion, cause I stopped in time, but that's what I worry about with a light, like, on a house, and when you come down around that turn fast, and people do it, even nighttime, motorcycles
They fly down that road.
flying down those turns.
Yeah.
They fly down my road, cutting from 17M to get to Warwick.
Mhm.
They fly, like having all these deer around and they just
I know.
fly. They're doing
I
80
know.
and 90 at night.
Oh my
Right.
God, so scary.
So I think we are seeing more and more back-end accidents. I know I've seen 2 of them at Hartley Road and 17M.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Because you come up over there, when you're heading west, you
Yeah,
come up around the corner and you don't see
Yeah.
them. All right.
This intersection at least has good sight lines, you should be able
Yeah.
to see if it's stopped, but at those speeds, it's very possibly gonna be a fatal, because you are traveling highway speeds and you're up against.
And the trouble is, the more you back up the traffic, the more you get to the point where it's no longer good sight distance.
Bad sight, exactly.
Okay, one other thing, or another thing I wanted to look at, if you look at the section on lighting and signage, one, I don't see any signage up there, yet there's no trucks beyond this point. So I don't see any signage for the overall property. I think they want it, they should have it. They're gonna put it on the building. I think they should have some kind of proposal for that, because people are gonna be looking for this building.
Sure.
yeah,
I mean,
especially that time.
even just a sign out there somewhere near where the berm might be, saying 17M Flex Building, you would be able to, where in the 17M Flex Building would work.
Well, they're going to have to, if it's going to be a true flex building with multiple occupants, then
Mhm.
they're going to have to put one of those signs out in front that's leveled with each occupant.
They may have to do that, and they can,
Because that's the only way you'll find it.
Right, or they're just a big, there's one right down the road further where they, all they have is the big number for the building. If you
Oh,
can't see that, I think it's a darn near 2 foot size.
Yeah, that's
number.
a nice big number, I like
Yeah,
that.
you can't miss that number. If you're looking for that address, you're gonna find it.
Right.
So the other thing I had about this was lighting. 2 things about it. One is that if you look at this, I believe the sidewalk from the parking area to get down to the ones at the other end, the western end of the property, that sidewalk has no lighting in the middle of the building. I'm not sure why.
This is across the parking lot.
You come out the parking lot over here,
Yep.
and then walk down, have to walk down to get down to this cross area there. It doesn't exist. There is no lighting in that middle.
Why would they do that?
I don't know the answer. But I think it's an oversight, it needs to be addressed. The other side of that is I don't understand why we have 6 lights up front,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's anything but maybe a pretend door up there, and I hope we don't even make it.
It's a
pretend
facade,
doors.
right? We don't have that, all of your
Right.
all of your trucking is in the back.
Or
Entrances in the
access in the back. Why we have lighting out there, I don't know. I would encourage the applicant, I think, to just not have lights out there, or have minimal lights. And take at least 2 of those lights and put them back here maybe.
I would agree to that.
But whatever, I'm not quite sure why it's set up that way, and maybe our code says that. I know that at least one of the planning board members very much likes lights, but I don't see the rationale for this. I might even encourage the lights out here for the sidewalk to be motion sensor or something along that line, or time sensitive. At least, most of these buildings are not gonna be used overnight. I think you can shut them down at night, or cut them down to half. I know Legoland was supposed to do that, and it took a long time, and I don't know if they ever even got to that.
Do we know, are these the typical downlight that?
Yes, they are. In fact, this foot candle design here is meant to show you how the actual light is gonna be hitting the ground.
Mhm.
I know they're shielded, that's why they don't get as far as they go wide.
Okay,
Uh,
but that, I agree with you, that's a dark spot right there in the middle for
Yeah,
no obvious reason.
okay, so I think they have to look at that, and then I don't see the reason for it at the far back side. Anybody have anything else?
Not for me.
Okay. So let's go to Gotham Properties, only because it's the same, virtually the same property. It does include the same property as when we looked at T-Mobile. Gotham Properties is that whole area down there that includes the Aurora industry, and that includes the old airport. Okay, and so what they wanna do is they wanna rearrange the site, rearrange the parcels, so that they can be divided up. Probably makes more sense.
This is the current?
This is the current, this is existing, this is what they wanna propose to do. This piece right here is where Aurora Industries is. It's a nice warehouse, nicely done. And they are no longer working out of there, they're gonna sell it. So what they're proposing to do is make it into, I think, 3 parcels.
Before you get to.
This one's gonna be 1, the green's gonna be 2, and the blue's gonna be 3.
We talked about this at the last meeting.
Yep.
I do think that's a better layout, if it's good for everybody else, as long as the blue they have access via the right of way.
Yeah, the blue actually owns the right of way.
Okay, so then
And so it's the other 2 properties are gonna.
they have access off of that?
Actually, this first parcel can get it off of the 17, or Pulaski Highway if it needed it.
Mhm.
This second one back here needs the access off of the, there. John, you're down there more than the rest of us.
Yeah, I haven't been down there since they closed the airport though, I mean.
All right, you remember anything down there? I think this is
The road
basically,
was a mess, I mean, 11
Yeah.
years ago, I mean, you know.
and I think this actually is just pretty much wetlands or black dirt.
Could be, yeah.
On that side.
Like, or, yeah,
There was a discussion at planning about maintenance of that road and who has to maintain it.
Yeah,
So if green property, they could always just make a cut through right onto Pulaski. But the orange property would need that road to be maintained.
Right.
So how does that handle?
Right now, they are the only building on that property, on that parcel,
Okay,
or on that road.
so is there an agreement amongst those property owners that the road will be maintained? And does the town have any, threat of having to go in and take over the road and maintain it? I'm worried about the taxpayer.
Anybody have any?
Have they sold any of that stuff yet?
No,
It's in
they
the
can't,
process.
they
So
can't,
that should
they can't
cover
sell it, it's a process right now, because they can't sell it, if they're gonna sell it, they have to sell it as it exists.
Then you should have some kind of maintenance agreement for the
Right.
road, because some of that road was in really horrible shape.
Yeah, it is, and back to Aurora, you can get there now, you get back to Aurora, is lousy. Now, the other problem with it is that, or weather issue, is that farmers do occasionally use that, I think, still to get back to the back.
Possibly.
Theoretically, they can. Practically, I don't think so much. I was back there 5 years ago, maybe, and, I wouldn't go there with my vehicle.
Well, the other properties would have to have an easement on that road, correct?
And farming down there gets strange as to whether it's,
Well-
what's there as far as easements and whatnot. We always used it, I'm not sure what it
Is
is,
that a
John.
dirt road?
It's dirt at best. Dirt's probably giving it a compliment, okay?
Well, then, my comments would be that I'm fine with this plan so long as there is an agreement in place
Yeah.
that the road be maintained by Blue Property in perpetuity, and that this protects the town from having to go in, because if Orange Property comes and says, hey, to the town, we can't access our property anymore, and the town has to come in and spend taxpayer money to fix
But
it,
wouldn't
that's,
they have to have an agreement when they purchase it,
Mm.
about the road?
and that's what I'm
The
saying.
green and the gold?
What would happen, certainly you would have the other two properties that don't own the land would certainly have some kind of agreement that we have the right to use it.
But
However,
there should be
That's not
like
maintenance,
something
though.
about
that's not maintenance.
yeah.
Now, I will tell you that I lived on a road in the past that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses, 7 properties on
I
it.
know what I'm talking about.
We had 7 properties on it, and the person at the very end is the person who owned the road, and he was responsible for everything. He was responsible for plowing, and he was responsible for, and at that point in time, he had nothing up there. Why he wants to maintain that road for the other 6 houses when he's got nothing
Yeah,
is beyond me.
Mhm.
But anyhow, at one point it was good, he was pretty good about it, but.
But if at any time, and the other thing is, that's not to say that that same landowner owns that property forever.
Yep,
And so once he does go, that agreement, I wanna see the agreement go with, if Blue sells the property, the agreement goes with, you're still maintaining that road, and it needs to be passable. Plowed in the winter,
Mhm.
you know, free of potholes or whatever during the summer. And look, it's not a problem unless it's a problem. But once it becomes a problem, it falls to the town, it falls to the taxpayer. So an agreement in place,
okay,
But
right
would
now,
that actually fall to the town?
no, it would not.
Because it's private.
Well, let's,
I
it's
mean,
no, legally,
they
we have no
could-
obligation.
Yeah, they could complain all they want about the road, but, technically, the town doesn't have to repair it.
no
Well-
matter what, this orange property can't come to the town and say, hey, this
I
road,
don't think so.
With enough pressure, they can try to get us to do something, and strange things happen sometimes. We took over a sewer and water system prior to being ready for it. We may have even taken over the roads in a subdivision because of that. Because you had 30, 40 families or whatever in there saying, hey, you gotta do something for us. I know we took over the sewer and waters before that,
so
before it was ready.
if the town is not now and never will be responsible for that road, does it hurt to just reiterate that in this
In the deed or
approval, in the deeds to say, this has to go on your deed? And this
But
way,
also too, if it's a crappy road now, then
Yeah.
when he sells those 2 pieces, they're gonna have to upgrade it, period. You would think,
I would think.
because whoever's gonna come in there is gonna say, hey, you know, we have to do something about this road.
Right
If I'm gonna buy it.
Right now, that road's improved enough for people to use this orange property. This is Aurora Industries, it's usable up to there, it really is. The only people beyond, the only thing beyond that right now is that cell tower. Cell tower doesn't need to be there very often, they probably have utility vehicles that are all 4-wheel drive, whatever, I mean, you see the O&R trucks,
Mhm.
they're in good shape usually.
How far down on Pulaski is that?
That's, right down by, what's the name of that?
It's about a mile past Pumpkin
yeah.
Swamp, it's past
Yeah.
Organic Recyclers on the right-hand side.
Yep, organic recycling right about here.
And then just before,
This is,
Quaker Creek or anywhere near there.
yeah, Quaker Creek's down further.
just before Wasinski Road.
Yeah,
on
this
the
is
left.
where, if you know where the fire just was, where the people died, it's right
Oh,
across the
yeah,
street.
yeah,
It's just across, this house right here, I think. So yeah, it's down there. Okay,
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 that's about all we have on Gotham properties, right?
yep.
Somehow it always seemed like it should be fair to say the people in front of it who are using it should also contribute to the.
It should be a maintenance agreement, they should be
Yeah.
shared proportionally.
Yes, yes.
I would think, and it's gonna be shared proportionally based on size of property, or shared proportionally based on value of property? I don't know the answer.
I'm trying to remember who it was I knew in Goshen who had that shared property agreement, and
Yeah.
it was difficult at best.
Sure, I mean, you can think, even if it's residential,
was
if I'm
pointing
here
fingers.
during the summer only and I'm going down south for the winter,
You-
but you don't need to plow. So, it's a question of what you use it for. All right, so the last project for tonight is Gibbons Garden. John, you know the property?
She's right across this,
think it's-
from where we're talking about this other project, yeah.
Just-
a lot going on then in the town, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it used to be Gladstone Nutter, right?
Correct, yeah,
Yeah.
one of the buildings burnt or whatever,
Yeah,
and that's,
yeah.
does she own the property get farther down that?
She owns it at the end of that, right?
Yeah,
What's-
okay.
At Wisniewski Lane. She owns the property down around the corner.
She's a significant player in the repacking business and stuff like that. She supplies a lot of restaurants, Korean restaurants and stuff. She's
So she has a lot
supplies a
of,
lot of stuff, yeah. for
Okay.
people, yeah. But this, so, what are the issues here? She's gonna just be on that footprint of that old building that's
Yeah,
over there, or?
she doesn't quite say, and I think you are accurate, as to probably what's gonna happen there. It's probably gonna be mostly repacking. I don't think it's a bunch of, certainly nothing's gonna happen on here as far as growing on this
No,
property.
no.
But I'm not so sure whether she does enough, does she do much growing any?
I honestly don't know, but I would tend to say no, but I could be wrong.
Okay. So essentially it's an agriculture-related business as opposed to agriculture probably. And that property was very developed in the past. This is basically all concrete back here.
Yeah.
Buildings were down before I ever saw it. I don't know whether they burned down, what
I
happened to it.
believe it burnt, yeah.
Okay. So I didn't see any narrative on this. I didn't see any, what are they proposing to do? Is there something like that, Grace, do you know?
I can look for it.
I looked online, I didn't see.
I didn't
on the
see it
town
either.
site.
So one of the things I think we need is a narrative as to what they're proposing to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's down in the AI district, yes, but it's definitely not agriculture, those agriculture related probably. You also have, they have to give some idea of what the total proposed uses are. There are 2 dwelling buildings on here, and I think that one or both of them have multiple dwellings in them. I don't know. Now, the last time I was down there, there was at least 2 separate, well, actually, the front dwelling actually used to be their receiving office, I think, maybe.
The little small one, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the main office for Gratz and Nutter, yeah.
Yeah, and then, so maybe there's 2 dwelling buildings, then there's 2 more buildings, one of which looks fairly big back here,
Yeah,
and then there's a building here that's, may or may not be theirs, I'm not sure.
right off of the Pulaski Highway there, when you drive in there, it's
Yeah.
on the left-hand side, that's an individual,
Dwelling,
other owner.
yeah.
The project, everything was sent out, online. There should be a project narrative.
Yeah, I didn't see it, did you see it up there?
Mm-hmm.
You have project narrative? I didn't see it there.
Yeah, it's included in the backup.
Okay, so this says building, but on the
Like
map,
table
I'm not
of
seeing
contents.
a building.
That thing back here,
What is that?
that's a rough looking building, if that's it.
It's not, I don't think
I
that's
don't know what
a,
that is. This is done by Peter Zakopao, they claim there's a building.
Is it, am I looking at the roof of a barn? It's.
I don't know. Maybe,
a
maybe
tin
it's a metal
barn,
roof, maybe it's a metal roof.
roof on a dilapidated barn.
Maybe, yep.
And then this is the parcel that we're talking about.
That's
This
the
concrete.
rest of the, well, there's concrete down there, yeah.
Okay, I mean,
So what does it say? No sheets,
Okay.
anything?
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't
doesn't
give
really-
anything as to what it's gonna be. Construction of a warehouse and a sewage disposal system is the application.
If there was a building, it was like a loading dock, we backed right into it, you know.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
it, so they may,
In the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep,
but it'd be nice to hear from the person's mouth exactly what they're gonna do and how much they're
yep.
gonna do.
And then there's also a listing here of 4 bungalows.
Really,
Yep.
so they may be,
And that would be perfectly understandable if they're using it for agricultural labor.
yeah, for their own business, yeah.
So, actually, you're allowed to use it even for other
Is-
people's business,
is
but
this
yeah.
the bungalows? One,
That's,
two,
yeah, that's
three,
what,
four.
that's
So-
what's listed here as.
Yeah, they're not that. I mean, this is the,
I didn't recall.
this is this,
Yep,
right?
Yep,
So you would be right down in here, that would be in
Yep.
here, and they just, no, they're not there.
yep.
I mean, not according to Google Earth. I don't see them there.
I
They
don't
would be- They would be
disagree.
right in here.
I don't disagree with you, and I didn't recall them when I was down there, but, unless Peter Zack and Powell is using an old site plan and just
Well, they're
redoing
just
it.
saying construction of a warehouse and sewage disposal
Yeah.
system, that's it.
Yep, so the only spot I see a sewer disposal system is going for the bungalows that may or may not exist. The warehouse is certainly up here.
Yeah, they
Uh,
give dimensions and stuff like that about the building or
Nothing on here.
nothing?
No, yeah, actually, the warehouse, yes, it's 84 feet by 272 feet.
It's pretty substantial.
It's a fair sized building, yes.
Yeah, that fairly.
But it fits on that property easily,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Are
Okay,
they
so
proposing it on top of the existing slab? that
they're
they have?
proposing it back in that area. I'm not sure that the actual building construction is gonna be determined as to whether that's, concrete is adequate to hold it.
Yeah, looking at Google Earth, the concrete looks like it's pretty old, and I'm not so sure that you, if it, you know, would a builder really just go and slap it on top of that? I don't think so.
It's
In the
gonna,
1950s, that'd be fine. I don't think that's today's building
Yeah.
standard.
no, and certainly Frank is gonna have his, work cut out for him looking at the approval of that.
Neil, looking online, I found the same thing you said. There's very little information. This is probably the thinnest application that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I would say that
It says nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
certainly a more accurate plat layout there, plat plan is due. And if, yeah, the engineer has to go out and actually do a site survey to see if those bungalows actually exist there. That says it's a building, doesn't look like a building to me. But,
And going through the EAF, you have a narrative there? Thank you very much.
Talk about over and above.
Yeah, really.
Very nice, Grace.
Good.
That-
So they're gonna have 15 employees. Parcel has frontage on both roads, probably is currently under,
Parcel has frontage on both roads?
yeah, on Wisniewski and Pulaski, that would be.
They do?
Yeah,
Wow, okay, so that, I didn't think they, okay.
yeah, they do there. Yeah, sure, that's right. All right, there are a number of existing structures on site which are vacant at this time and not part of this application. Those structures will remain vacant. There is one storage building west of the proposed
Oh,
warehouse.
so they're buying everything here then?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
what, do they already own it?
I think they may own it.
Yeah, I took to mean that shows that they own that entire,
Yeah,
So they-
yeah, she owns it. At least she signed it as the owner's endorsement.
okay?
And she's saying that all the other structures will remain vacant. The one storage building west of it, which is currently in use and will continue to be utilized in conjunction with the proposal to the west. That building, there's a storage building
There
here
you go,
too.
yep.
This is a substantial piece of property. It was a major player in the onion business way back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
And Gretson,
Yep.
are the biggest growers out there,
Mhm.
way back when, and,
All right.
no, they're not, but yeah, it'd be nice to find out what the heck they're gonna do with the rest of the property, or
Yeah, actually, we
they're,
got a
they're
number
gonna
of these.
house. I mean, if they're gonna have 15
Oh, she
employees,
did one thing.
oh, there's one for me.
Yeah.
If they're gonna have 15 employees, we, yeah,
Well, a huge difference whether or not you're going to be, if you're just repackaging, your water and sewer is not nearly as important if you are processing, right?
yeah, I don't know if it's just onions they do, or they may be, who knows what.
Yeah, actually, you may use water, let's talk agriculture, John.
Agriculture.
If you're doing, what agriculture, I think if you're doing leaf products or something like
Oh,
that,
God, yeah,
you're gonna do a lot of cleaning,
yeah,
washing.
I don't know what they're,
I don't know what
they
that,
deal with, yeah,
Yeah,
but,
they're all produce packaging facility.
yep.
yeah,
But other, onions were nice, very low water usage, but,
yeah.
other stuff, not so much.
According to this, on third page or sub B, water, it says, anticipated water usage is 225 gallons per day. So,
That sounds like,
know.
that's 15 gallons a day per employee. So we're all figuring that the employees are gonna use the restrooms and that's it.
so then no on the processing,
Or no on any cleaning of.
on
the
cleaning of vegetables, right?
or anything like
Just
that.
strictly a repackaging,
Yeah.
we're assuming.
How was the issue with, Minkus when he put up that building and stuff like that? Yeah, they had to put a firewall or something.
Yeah,
It was
okay, that's
all
like that.
one- It was all one story, and there was multiple exits, I mean, you know, so.
The answer is, we had a building code question with it, and it was a matter of classification and all that. There was a, because I got in trouble with it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a,
That's a
I
So what do we-
had everybody going up about that one.
What are we gonna do about
The answer
this
is,
situation here?
the answer is the question whether he was just repacking or whether he was processing. If you're just packing, it's one thing, if you're processing, it's another thing. And the building code treats you differently, and I'm not gonna be able to do it off the top of my head. But anyhow, yes, he did have to put a firewall up in there,
Yeah.
because he was so big.
Yeah,
But the question was whether or not he had to put a sprinkler system in.
oh,
And he ended up being, no, he did not, and we went to the state on that.
okay.
Okay, so that's how we got past that, and I think it's fair that way
Yeah,
down there.
but he's got a beautiful building there, but this thing here is gonna be new, so you wanna,
So it could do the same kind of thing, the question is gonna
Yeah.
be, but the truth of the matter is, even if they put a sprinkler system in there, you don't use water in the sprinkler system, hopefully. It's supposed to sit there until you have a fire.
So a dry system where,
No, even a wet system, if I have, even if I, say I had 200,000 gallons of water from my sprinkler system, I fill up to 200,000 gallons, and hopefully I never use it. If I use it, it's a one-shot deal.
okay,
So I'm gonna use whatever I already put in there, so I can fill it up over time slowly
right?
and have very little impact on water usage, because I never use it, hopefully.
And now you're leaving the pipes dry unless.
No, you can use it wet.
I'm saying that, so
Yeah.
you have a water retention, and then the pipes are dry unless you need it, and the fire system goes off, the pump then shoots the water through the
Right,
pipes.
water pipes already have water in it, which is part of the storage, and then
Okay,
the sprinkler head opens and then it goes through, right?
and then the pump kicks on and
Yep.
it's the pump system.
Yep. So a sprinkler system really doesn't use water, there's a storage of water question on it.
I see here that traffic, they're talking about 5 to 6 trucks a day, and they will all use Wininski Road, not Pulaski Highway. Pulaski is only used for emergency access if required. Noise, fire protection, they don't see a need for a sprinkler system. I mean, look, if you're gonna have a agricultural warehouse, that's exactly where it belongs, in my opinion. It's in the ag area.
I think the use is totally appropriate. Now, they do have a couple things on the EAF that came up or whatever. Traffic, we kind of addressed, there's a question about the energy code. And there's no idea on the energy code. Energy code looks at lighting on the property, and there's just not enough information to say, is it gonna comply with the energy code or not?
Well, this just said parking areas will be lit, exterior lighting shall be directed downward. And they'll be selected from a list of IDA approved dark sky friendly fixtures,
Mhm.
you know, so no heavy lighting.
Yeah, I think it should be okay, but number 9 says, does the proposed action meet or exceed the state energy code requirements? It's just an absence of information, that's what I'm saying, I think. Then they're gonna use the existing water supply, septic volume, they have this. And so, I don't, see, I still question whether these other dwelling, or anything, they're saying they're all vacant. And
Well,
they're gonna-
it does say on this that the accessory buildings that are on the property are not part of this application, so do we consider those?
I think we have to consider them because we're looking at the property.
And since they didn't break this one piece out as a separate parcel, then,
I think we have to consider what else is happening there, because
Yeah,
that may have an impact on anything happening on this. I don't know how it's not considered part of the property. I'm not sure it should matter a whole bunch. Compared to the use in the past, I think this is relatively minor compared to the past, but
okay, and this is the existing well, it doesn't say if these other dwellings have their own wells?
it doesn't show the dwelling, the wells, any other wells, really.
Does
And
it show
then-
if the dwellings have sewer?
It doesn't show
Doesn't
that
show.
either.
I mean, it shows the bungalows with a septic system, but
Which is what's weird, because I
they don't exist.
They're not being used, or is this it down here? It is, no. This is going out here to the septic tank, to a pump station, then going all the way back to there. That may be the septic system just for this building,
Okay.
maybe. All the way up by the bungalows.
Well, from an environmental review point of view, as I said, I think it's the right building in the right place. I have no problems with that.
When you talk, again, back to the EAF, there's a question there, is the project site or any other portion of it located in or adjacent to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites in New York State? And the answer is yes, so ultimately, we really need to have SHPO sign off on it. And I think that, John, you can find a little bit more about it, but I think when you're talking in the black dirt area, the possibility of having something found in the black dirt exists.
yeah, but this is not really black dirt, I mean, here.
Yeah, I think they can justify it that way, and I think it should be really fast.
This is basically one of the islands in the Black Dirt, right? It's
Yeah.
island,
Yeah,
and they're not, are they even really disturbing any ground? If they're just gonna slap this right on top
Well,
of
they're
it.
certainly doing it for the septic system, but I don't know that it matters.
Got it.
But I think that, I don't know if they have even black dirt on this, but I know back by her other place, there is.
yeah, the border's black
Yeah,
dirt.
she's
but,
real, this is real close to black dirt. So I think they just need the write off, the sign off by SHPO,
What is SHPO?
State Historic Preservation Office, anybody,
Okay, that makes sense, thank you.
okay? I believe that's what it is, it's stuff that, the people who usually look into archaeological stuff,
Historical
anything
preservation,
historical,
I
yeah.
gotcha, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, State Historic Preservation Office.
Gotcha. You're good.
John, the backside is probably not black into black dirt yet, I don't think so. There's a dirt road back there, you could,
Where are we talking about?
here's Wisniewski, here's Pulaski, right back at the back of their property, there's a dirt road there. That probably means it's not really black dirt yet. Yeah, it's
I
close,
really don't
yeah.
know, it's close, I mean, cause
Yeah.
this is, these are other daily product, this is probably black dirt in here that they run,
Yeah,
but,
okay, so we just need a SHPO sign off.
yeah.
And if it's black dirt, possibly it exists in floodplain, they should confirm that.
Yeah, we definitely need a little bit more information. They say those other residences are vacant and will remain vacant, but,
Yeah.
you know,
But on the other side, they say, it's not part of the application, like it's, that they're gonna claim that it's already pre-existing use and therefore we're just adding this use.
yeah.
Okay, so does the site, and they have it here, Site have any threatened or endangered species? And the answer is yes, they have at least two, the northern harrier and the short-eared,
Oh, really?
probably bat. So, to the degree that it might impact anything, they need to address that. It's probably gonna be, not to do work in certain seasons. Which may be complicated, because usually the harrier, you can't do the work in the winter,
Yeah.
because they're hunting that time of the year.
And,
And the bat you can't do during the summer because they're living there. But I think that living there is not gonna be an issue, because I think all you're worried about usually is the trees,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And so there's no trees coming down here,
no,
but that needs to be addressed. It's weird. I didn't see this online.
I did,
Okay, anybody have anything else on this? Any other concerns? One question might be, and I don't, actually it's probably gonna not matter a whole much, John. Wisniewski Lane, can handle tractor trailers, probably have other existing facilities getting tractor
they're
trailers now.
going back to her, I don't know whether trailers or straight jobs that go in.
Yep, to the
into
back there.
business.
Yep.
I can't, I haven't been on the road in a bit, but what's the condition of the road, do you recall?
No, I don't recall. It was not one of our better roads, but,
No.
I've seen a lot worse in town.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's worse, but, you
Yeah.
know.
All right, so there should be a confirmation as to whether Wisniewski can handle the anticipated traffic load.
that particular part of Wisniewski is really good, I've been on that lately.
It's really good?
When you get down a little bit further,
Okay.
it starts getting tight, but up until you make that quick right-hand turn,
How's the
Okay.
surface, though, decent, I
yeah,
mean?
it's good, it's in good shape,
Very good.
pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like I say, not the greatest I've ever seen, but it's not in disrepair at all.
Yeah, I know there's houses on the other side of the road.
And the town maintains it, they plow in the winter and
I
stuff?
think so. I think it's listed as our town road, so.
Okay, yeah,
33-foot right of way total, looks like in the back half of that. We should look at, they should look at that. If that's 33 foot wide, it looks like maybe that road's 16 foot wide?
Wazinski?
Yeah.
I haven't really driven over here.
Neither, I haven't done it in a long time. I'm just looking at this, the site plan shows 33 foot right of way. And the pavement looks like it's lucky if it's half of that.
Yeah, it's not terribly wide, but.
No, but I'm just questioning whether or not truck traffic really should go on Wisniewski, or whether it should be going out directly to
Yeah, and
Lansky Highway.
you know, what's the underlayment of that road? It's not a highway road,
Who's responsible for that road?
Town,
town.
I think it's town. And confirmation with Broderick or the Highway Department that it should be Wisniewski should be used as opposed to Lansky Highway.
Why would they specify that, the applicant? Why would they say we're gonna use this road and not this road?
Because usually when any project comes in, you try to use the smaller roads for the access.
Oh, okay.
It tends to have less traffic, so therefore it's a little bit safer to get on there.
Oh, okay.
That's the theory. So we almost always, in this case, we would normally try to get them to use the town road to get onto the county road.
I see.
I think the trucks that they'll probably be bringing in there will be more like box trucks anyway.
Well, could be tractor trailers too, I mean, if
I
they're doing repacking.
wouldn't
Yeah.
think so, I would think it would be more like the vegetable box trucks or the slatted trucks, depending on
Yeah,
what produce they were bringing in, where they were coming from.
Do you have any idea which? I mean, I know that,
first of all, I think, like you said, you need to find out if it's just
Yeah.
gonna be all onions, or gonna be leafy stuff, are they gonna need water to wash anything and package it and process it?
I mean, the other one, he brings in tractor trailer loads of onions all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, he even gets onions delivered by train
Oh,
to
really?
Middletown. And picks them up in Middletown. I mean, that is a repacking facility also.
Yeah.
But his tractor trailer, I don't know that he has any straight jobs going in there.
He's got a lot of room there.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Makers, yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they do a
It's a big
phenomenal
building.
job that way.
Yeah, they do.
And that is such an attractive building.
They did a nice job, there's no, and there's a bunch about it.
I don't mind going by there at all, I think it's so nice.
Okay, anything else on this for now? Okay,
Is this yours? You want this?
One other thing on the,
go ahead.
you sent us an update on the battery energy storage system.
I sent you the updated, it was the New York State fire code stuff.
Yep. Thank you. Looks like you did a lot of homework on that, and just, I think a lot of it made common sense and a lot of stuff that New Leaf was talking about doing. With the passing of the new bill by Congress, they did away with wind and solar, and I thought it might wipe this project out too. Alas, no. Battery energy storage systems are exempt from the cuts in that bill, which tells me that somebody in the business knew somebody, right? It's just a follow the money. That said, I haven't, New Leaf came in hot and heavy, they met with zoning, planning, then town board, then back to planning, we got it, and now we haven't heard from them. Has there been?
I have heard nothing more from New Leaf at all. Grace, there's been nothing doing that, right?
Okay.
No, I believe they're applying for their, to the ZBA for their variance.
Okay.
Yeah, cause they need road frontage, they don't have any because it's within, the existing site on Hartley Road. Some of the things I did notice that, Neil, you brought this up before about if there is a problem there, how long does it take to get their representative on site? And, the new code will be, 15-minute call within 4 hours to get them
They
on
must
site.
be on site within 4 hours.
Yeah, look, I don't really know 4 hours, 4 minutes, if it's burning, it's burning, I
Yeah.
don't know the difference, but, the other thing about signage and stuff, we'll keep this in mind for when it comes back to us, there's really nothing more for us to do at this time. And, we'll be there at zoning when they come for the variance. But thank you for the information, I found it interesting and, good that we're staying on top of
Yeah.
that. That's gonna be a big project.
I don't like that project.
I haven't met anybody who has. Interestingly, everybody has said no. The town of Montgomery literally banned battery energy storage systems in their town. Warwick had their problem, they had to rebuild what they had. We don't make that decision, but when it comes to us, we make our
We can
suggestions.
only do what we're allowed to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
You just mentioned something about a little additional information on that battery storage. Is there anything that we haven't heard of in any of the meetings?
No, the answer is that, what I passed along was, New York State passed updated code revisions, building codes and fire codes relating just to battery energy storage systems. And I passed that along, it's the law now, and that's all it was about.
Specifically, there are points for central station monitoring, which New Leaf said that they're going to do already. An emergency response plan, which New Leaf said they were going to do already. Providing site-specific training for fire departments, which we had requested, and that's why we brought in the chiefs to talk to them about what they could do. Have to put up signage, and again, that response time, which we had discussed already. So nothing ground shaking here, but it's interesting to see that some of these things that are going into play, we've already discussed.
Right.
However, to your point, at the last town board meeting, June, you had asked about the underlying aquifer, and if there is a problem. There was some talk about water and foam. I really wish we would stop saying that, because there will never be water, there will never be foam. New Leaf has told us they're going to let it burn. That is the way they handle these things. Water and foam is marketing, that's just what people wanna hear, so that's what, they'll say yes to it, but their overall plan for these fires is to let the fire consume itself, which is a fancy way of saying let it
The fire
burn.
department was told to stand down.
Yeah, let it burn. So what will it do to
But
the other
does
one?
it go in the air then?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and you'll see it for miles and miles, and you're gonna have to evacuate the surrounding areas, and for how long, we don't know. You had a question in the back?
Not really a question.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, the applicant was all for training the firefighters.
Yeah.
Yes, they're absolutely, they wanna do that, but that all has to be put into writing, so. But back to your point, what will it do to the other light? We don't know, we don't know, we don't know. There's so much we don't know, which is, I think, in part why some, surrounding municipalities, Montgomery in particular, have banned them outright, because we just, it's an emerging technology.
It also is kind of a thin road for something like that, that could have such an immense problem, these big giant fire trucks. Imagine like 5 of them trying to get down that road to service whatever happens.
Well, again, there won't really be much need for fire trucks, because
Right.
you're not gonna put water on
I
it.
mean, there is residential.
Except that, I thought that they did in the building code on this. I thought there was some mention about having to have an extinguishing system within the container. And I don't know, I think
They've
there's
said
still a
that
lot
in
of
meetings,
questions.
but I don't even believe them. They've said that it's self-encapsulating and that it will
Well, except
put
that
it out from inside.
Except that some of the ones in New York State that caught fire burned right through the roof. Okay, they melted the container.
And aside from that, this isn't a typical fire. This is a runaway chain reaction whereby this fire, because of the nature of the chemicals burning, actually creates its own oxygen. For example, like magnesium will burn underwater. So there are just some fires that you just
Can't use water.
Now, there are exotic chemicals that you can use that breaks that chain reaction. They're incredibly expensive, they're very messy, and they're toxic, so we don't use those either. Once again, best practices right now in the fire industry is to let this fire consume itself. Yes, it will pump noxious fumes and smoke into the air for as long as it burns, which I believe, Neil, you said could end for a week to a month.
And how do you contain it? Like, I know, like, you wanna try to contain its water, but if you can't put it out and it's could it cross the street and start burning houses?
The answer is hopefully not. I mean, the answer is we think it's gonna be done by separation. And certainly everything is contained as separate containers. So I think they're talking multiple, 4 containers or 6 containers, something like that, on each site. So they have 2 different sites here.
And they're huge shipping containers.
Yes.
Well, about the size of a shipping container, but I think it's supposed to be a whole lot sturdier than that, because as Neil said, you can burn right through that, and steel will burn at the right temperature. So reinforced, which they said, we can contain it. Yes, you might be able to contain the fire, you might be able to contain the heat, but you can't contain the smoke.
And
So-
you can't contain the gases, because the gases given off include hydrogen.
Yeah,
You have enough hydrogen, you're gonna blow it
blow
up.
it up.
You have to actually.
So, Neil, let me
It's
ask you a
required
question.
ventilation, yeah.
So if other surrounding counties have already figured out, just ban it, don't let it go in our county, why don't we follow that lead for safety precautions?
The answer is that the only people in the town who can ban a use within the town is the town board.
And they're for it, I think.
And the town board.
The town board voted, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I believe it was 2017,
Yeah.
when they voted to allow this type of system in the town. Now, whether they, can they reverse that?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
we can update our zoning code whenever we want to, with some limitations probably, but anyhow, the town board has the ability to say we don't want it in here.
I know it's gonna sound like a naive question, at that point, was it run by the residents, or did they just do it?
At that point in time, sure, any changes in the code have to have a public hearing, and I'm sure, I think there was a public hearing at that point in time. However, at that point in time, there were no battery energy storage systems in the area that had any history or whatever. Most of the ones that had any kind of negative stuff was out west more.
I think it was a more innovative vision that they figured that, let's see if we can do this, leave it open for this. And now we have a little bit more input, like from what happened in Warwick.
Right,
So, that's when you take a step back, and I think that they have to kind of revisit the whole concept and see if that's what they want, and also, it's like any new thing like that, it depends on who the players are and who wants it, but it's something that has to be decided, I think, is a little bit more, I think the community, input's gonna be important for that.
we
Because
don't,
I don't think anybody really understands a lot of it.
no,
it's an emerging technology,
Right.
right? We don't know what we don't know. I don't know if you heard
Exactly.
my spiel on this before, but there was this miracle fiber some years ago. They made fabric out of it, it was incredible, it's great thermal properties, fire resistance, they made children's pajamas out of it. It was called asbestos. Well, we learned, and later on we said, we made a mistake, we're not gonna do this anymore. And I think with any emerging technology, you have the chance of that, and this might, and by the way, these systems are becoming much, much safer. They are definitely, for the number out there, for the number that still have problems, the numbers are, they're still,
Well,
they are
should
getting
learn.
safer.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're safe. They're getting safer.
It's just confusing me. It seems like Goshen is just kind of like a free-for-all. Come on, come.
Well,
Like, you know, Warwick
Well,
doesn't want
yeah,
you, Montgomery
a lot of
doesn't want you.
stuff that- yeah.
We'll just take anybody. Come on in. And if we don't protect the town and
We
they're
are,
almost more like one step in until there's a problem rather than keeping 1 foot out, like the hokey pokey. And I don't understand, why is the philosophy like that?
I don't know, that is the town board.
follow,
The planning board and the ERB and the zoning board of appeal can only work with the laws that are in front of them.
And the problem is the evolution of the town board over time is when new ideas come in. And that's when everyone has to take a step back and discuss those new ideas. You know, you get a town board like Warwick, they're really set on what they want and what they don't want. But they're in hot water right now because they approved a project that everyone hates. So there's a lot of uproar there. And that's the first time since I've been in Warwick, you know, I have my shop down there, the first time that I have heard such dissension for the town board.
they are,
So,
yeah,
but you have new players,
Ah, okay.
and that's what happens, you know. And who knows, you know,
Most times, the town codes are town zoning codes and that, are supposed to be reviewed every 5 years. We're well overdue. We're in the process of it right now. There's a group
the
working on a
comprehensive
comprehensive plan.
Mhm.
That should be done first, and if you have the comprehensive plan, your zoning code should be reinforced the comprehensive plan. So we're in that process now.
the last comprehensive
over
plan
to-
was like Connie Bernstein, wasn't it?
And that was the big one. No, we did one in 2009 and 2014, Grace?
Huh.
Comprehensive plan. I think it was updated in 2009, a little bit minor. Then 2014 or so, when we did the Legoland stuff.
Yes, the last one was,
So it's safe to assume by the time you guys
So
get
whatever
around
date
to
that
setting
was,
the new rules,
Yeah.
this place will be.
Yeah. Pardon? I'm sorry.
I said, by the time you get your new board done and then you get into the zoning laws, and if you even decide at that point to outlaw them, we're gonna have this place anyway.
No, yes, you do have the ability to do a moratorium,
Mhm.
okay? There was a misunderstanding expressed that you can't have a moratorium if you don't have any of them. The answer is, yes, you can have a moratorium as long as you are making progress towards trying to understand it.
and just on this, on the battery energy storage system in particular, the planning board is the lead agency for seeker,
Yeah.
not the town board, the planning board. So,
So we'd have to go to the well, you can't speak at the planning, but we'd just send them an email?
yes.
Well, actually, you're going to be allowed to speak at the planning board
When they have a public
When?
hearing.
when they have a public hearing.
Mhm.
What's that?
Don't they also open up before the end of the meeting?
Not at
No.
that
No.
meeting,
Town
town
board
board
does.
meeting.
Yes. Town
So,
board
and
does.
that's very difficult for, and I know I've sat in many of the planning board meetings with you, and we're
Like a
chomping
little-
at the bit.
Like a
We-
little teapot.
We
Yeah.
wanna say,
Yeah, yeah.
but you know, I think they see us.
I make faces at them, if I'm really pissed at
Yeah.
Supervisor Betro, I
You
have
bite
this
your
with the
tongue.
evil hook, I stare him down, and he knows I'm not happy.
But we have not yet had a public hearing on the Hartley Road BESS system. We're just not there, and which is why I was asking. They came in so hot and heavy, I thought it was gonna be done in a week. But now we haven't heard from them in a while, but as Grace said, they're going to zoning for a variance.
So I quite a question how they could be going to ZBA right now, because I don't think we completed seeker. But stranger things have happened.
Okay? I know they need a variance
No,
because
I
they have
think
no road frontage.
Yes,
so.
they do, I know they need variances, but I would think they have to, I know that if we haven't completed seeker, they can't be getting any decision from the ZBA.
Okay,
They can go to the ZBA just can't take action.
got it.
So can I ask a question? When are we gonna be able to speak at the planning board? When do we find out about that?
About this,
No, or anything, are we gonna be allowed to speak at the planning board?
you can speak at the planning board anytime they have a public hearing,
Okay,
On the subject that they're having,
right, on that subject.
on that
but
subject.
are they
And
gonna
I
allow
think
us?
on the website, they probably, tell you when the
Yeah,
public meeting.
we will tell you when the public
Yeah.
hearing.
It's in the agenda. It'll say public hearing and
Mhm.
what it's on.
No, I think someone brought up and like at the town board meetings, we're allowed to speak at the end.
Yes,
And someone had brought up that maybe we could do that at the planning board and,
you can, I would say you have two options there. One is to appeal to the, meaning, approach the planning board about it. Write to them, write a letter to them and say, we would like to have the opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting about, maybe it's about the topics that discussed that night. Or you can try to get, if they don't wanna do it, then you can try to get the town board to tell them they have to do it.
oh, okay.
I don't know. We are gonna go through a transition there, because we are changing attorneys. And I don't know what that transition is gonna mean. So the last meeting for Kelly Norton is going to be
I'm gonna,
next
I'm gonna
week.
interject, and I'm gonna say, unfortunately, that's gonna be up to the chairman, not up to the attorneys.
Pardon?
It's gonna be up to the chairman, not up to the
Yeah.
attorney.
No, I know, but I mean, as far as the transition, as to what,
End of April, Kelly's done.
End of when?
End of
August,
August,
yeah.
sorry,
Okay,
Kelly's done, end of August.
so what happens is sometimes attorneys have, no, you have to do things this way, you have to do things that way. And I know we had that transition when we went from, the attorneys prior to, Rick Golden.
Golden.
And then we did some changes. Certainly we have more resolutions being written now than we ever did before. So I'm not saying the changes are bad, I'm just saying the changes do exist. They just think this is the way to do it. And that's the way they're more comfortable defending us later on if there's an issue. So there's some justification for that.
Okay.
Anything else, anybody? Okay.
This is my favorite board.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
And I
appreciate
didn't
it.
even want anything tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.